We see that, 1 year ago, metals were lower than they are today. 5 years ago, they were lower than they are today. 20 years ago, they were lower than they are today. How do we have and really remember a long-term view when investing in precious metals?
Well, it's hard these days when people believe that all markets are supposed to perform like Tesla and Bitcoin. That's not how markets perform. I've been in this industry since 1989. Nothing performs that way. These are extraordinary events. Look, silver was up 50% last year. It's still up almost 100% since March of last year. You have to have a longer term approach. And again, with precious metals, it's not about wealth creation. It's about wealth preservation. Now, there's an argument to be made for making a lot of money in silver, but I think people need to look at it a little bit differently. I hope to never, ever spend these. I hope to give them to my kids someday. To me, gold and silver is wealth, and it has been for 6,000 years. Wealth that I hope I never need to use, and if I do, I'm darn glad I have it. That's the way it's been looked at for 5,000 years by the wealthiest people in the world. Kings and queens and emperors and pharaohs all owned it as immutable wealth to pass on through the generations. And so the ups and downs don't bother me the way that they would if they were a traditional investment. It's not investment to me. It's money I put in my safe or in a storage facility and never think about again until I need it, if I need it. Not just for an emergency, but for an opportunity as well. And that's just one piece. You got currency problems, you have inflation problems, you have a million different problems in the economy that should have people have a percentage of their assets in precious metals. So I think you can take comfort in knowing that a year from now or 5 years from now or 100 years from now, we'll still have wealth and maybe a whole lot more, at least in the respect or in the light of what's happening to paper currencies right now, where every single year your dollar is worth 2% less every single year. Well, if inflation is actually much higher than that, does that mean you're losing 4, 5, 6% of your purchasing power? And the answer is yes, you are. So it's about retention of purchasing power. It's about preservation of capital more than it is, making money. And that's always great. But in the end, I'll fall back on 5,000 years worth of history as something that gives me comfort as to where we're ultimately going.
All right. Well, Andy Schectman, we really appreciate your